Hello Pisces, Elsie here to do your reading for the week ahead, my friends. How are you? I hope you are well. Thanks so much for clicking here. If you are brand new and you've never been here before, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for trying Ten of Cups Tarot. And for those of you who are the people who just keep clicking and watching and sharing and subscribing, thank you so much for doing that. If you haven't subscribed yet and I'm coming through your feed anyway, maybe you just want to hit that subscribe button. It does make a difference in how YouTube sees my channel. Thank you so much for doing that. We are going to be hitting it with the round cards today. We have the Teacup Oracle, and then we have the Coffee Cup Oracle by Amira. Let's find out what is coming up here. Let's get some energy on the table, and then we'll hit it up with some tarot, Pisces. If you are my ride or die, thank you so much for all the ways you love me here. I do appreciate you. Thank you for all the attention on my last bonus video. I'll put it up at the end here if you haven't seen it. I think that's good, hey? Bottom of the deck, we have Tankard, celebration, fun, enjoyment. So it feels like there is going to be some sort of celebration, and it is going to involve drinking or partying, something like that. Someone is inviting you. It says secret admirer. Oh, that changes things. We have the celebration, fun, and enjoyment because a secret admirer might be coming forward. Isn't that interesting? All right, let's figure out what's going on here. We do have the rose. It says romance is in the air. Right off the bat, there we go, Pisces. We do have mules. Someone is extremely stubborn and unwilling to change. So it says romance is in the air. Someone is stubborn and unwilling to change. You could have been waiting for a very long time for someone to come forward, or maybe you're the stubborn one. Take it as it resonates. But, you know, maybe you could have some energy in your chart that renders you sort of a little bit apprehensive about stepping forward. This could be someone else, of course. We do have the flag. It says, do not be tempted to lower your standards. So look, if this person comes by here, somebody who you are romantically interested in, but this person is not willing to grow or change or move along in life, if they're the person who's like, will not listen to anything but 70s music, will not ever eat anything out of whatever the four things are that they eat, you know what I mean? Maybe that's not for you. It might be a red flag. It says, do not be tempted to lower your standards. I love it because you're the one who's living in the sun, right? I feel like you are Pisces, the one who is happiness, and you have well-being as well. So I feel like you don't really need someone who is stubborn and unwilling to move or flow like you. You don't need that person in your life. We do have the bridge. It says successfully overcoming a problem. So it could be that you do meet someone who seems a little bit stubborn. Look, I'm not saying it's not going to work, but let's just take it for what it is. And we do have October. You could have met someone back in October, and maybe you're still thinking about them. Maybe you are still thinking about them and you're not sure what to do about the situation. But for some of you, October could be significant. It is the number 10, right? Which breaks down to a 1. Maybe you had a new beginning, or maybe you will have a new beginning in the month of October. Maybe the sun is going to come out and it's not going to be so cold. It could be that as well. Okay. Give me a couple of these cards here. What's going on here for Pisces? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. This reading's always for the week ahead, Pisces. If you've been here before, you know that. It's always for the week ahead, no matter if you get this today, tomorrow, or next year. It's always going to be for the week ahead. I think we had one more here that kind of flipped forward here. A groom. Okay. Is that it? It is. All right. So we do have acceptance and eccentric. Very interesting. You're very different from everyone that you know here. We do have the wisdom keeper, which is someone who is the keeper of wisdom. It feels like you keep it to yourself. I want to say that you're not the person that's shaking your finger like some sort of evangelist telling everybody that they should follow you. That's not what you do. You kind of work under the surface, right? We've got the whale, and the whale is wise, but the wisdom keeper is about Akashic records as well. It's about things that have happened in past lives. So I feel like if you are the one who has accepted that you are eccentric, I feel like it's supposed to be that way, that this is probably part of what's in your Akashic records here, that maybe you've been eccentric for all of the times that you've come back to this existence here. We do have distance and journey, and then we have groom. So for some of you, you might in the distance want to get married. We have husband and marriage. So you could be the masculine. You don't have to be. You could be the feminine as well. But it feels like maybe you are open to marriage. So I do feel for some of of you that you are thinking about this person who is stubborn, that isn't coming forward. But I do feel like there is going to be some sort of celebration. There's going to be someone else coming forward, a secret admirer. It looks like somebody who may be watching you, and I don't think it's in a creepy way. Secret admirer is probably someone that you already know, maybe someone you've already met, and they're very kind of sweet on you and want to get to know you more. Let's find out what's going on here with tarot for you here, Pisces. Tell me about Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter, please. Tell me about Pisces for the week ahead. If you are cross-watching a Pisces, thanks for doing that. Let's take a look here. Tell me about tarot for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and Jupiter. October could be significant for you. It could be somebody's birthday. It could be something that began back there in October last year, something that is you're about to come face to face with again in this year. It could be the King of Wands, Aries, Sagittarius, Leo energy here. Somebody who's very interested in stepping forward, in someone who is the person who is the pursuer, right? We do have the Six of Swords. We have the Moon energy. You may have disconnected from someone in October. Absolutely. It could be this person was a little too stubborn for you and you disconnected from that person. I feel like there's something coming that you don't see. The moon is here and things are not as they seem. But the Six of Swords is telling me that you may have moved away from the King energy, from the King of Wands energy. We do have Pisces and Cancer here as well. We do have the Four of Wands. Now, it could have been a natural falling into silence, because it does feel like somebody is trying to heal the mind, maybe heal heartbreak. She's got her hand on the sword here, so there is something that she wants to say. But we do have 3 swords, and I feel like somebody here has been healing the mind. You may be healing from this King of Wands. Maybe this person just wasn't ready when you were ready, or vice versa. Tell me more. We have the Ace of Swords. You learned something from walking away from the King of Wands. The King of Wands can be an Aries, a Sagittarius, or a Leo, but please understand that these are energies. If they're not people, they're energies in your life. And the energy of the King of Wands is somebody who's never going to let go. Somebody who will continue to pursue and pursue and pursue until they get what they want. So it feels like if this person turned up as someone who was a little bit more stubborn in the past, I feel like this person still hasn't forgotten about you and still is trying to pursue you or wants to pursue a connection with you. Excuse me. So it's like the Ten of Swords is here, but the Moon is here. It's like things are not as they seem. Maybe you think it's an ending, but it's actually a pause. With all of these swords here, it feels like we're kind of up in the head, feeling... Yeah, we've got lots of swords here, don't we? You could be dealing with Libra, Gemini, Aquarius energy as well. It feels like it's very cerebral. It feels like I want to say that there's a Pisces here who is thinking about the situation. And whatever way you're feeling about the situation, maybe you think it was an ending, but I think you're going to realize as somebody here possibly connects with you, maybe a Pisces or a Cancer, maybe Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, you're going to realize that this was a pause and not an ending, that this was actually a comma and not a period. That's what I want to say. So it is... it's something here. I feel like there was something that you two could not resolve. If we are talking about this person, and this person doesn't have to be anyone who's romantically interested in you. There's nothing here that indicates that. This could be someone who is a friend. It could be someone who is in your family. Take it as it resonates. But it feels like with the 5 swords here that it tells me that there was some sort of an argument or a conflict. It's like it was conflict in the mind. It's like, I don't believe what you're saying, and maybe I don't want to be a Catholic. Maybe I just want to keep following my spiritual path. Do you know what I mean? Like it feels like a fundamental difference here, and that might be why you moved away. But maybe this person was standing on a point. Maybe this person is like, well, I like my religion and I'm not going to let go of it. But the way you think, Pisces, is sort of go with the flow, and I'm not really about that. Like it could be something like that. Bottom of the deck, we have the High Priestess. That's you, right? That's your Piscean energy here. So it is all about your intuition, knowing that there's something coming. And I think I've talked to you about this before, knowing that something is on the way, that something is about to arrive, or this moment of alchemy, something is about to come to the most perfect moment, the one moment in time where everything is going to work work the way it's supposed to, the way the universe wants it to work, because these are both major arcana. So I feel like you're already getting downloads, Pisces. You're probably already getting downloads about this. Look, we do have the Queen of Wands in the distance. I feel like this person is a soulmate, but look, when we're not ready, we could meet somebody. You may have met someone 5 years ago, but when we're not ready, and we're not queens and kings, when we're not on the same page, when we are maybe not so attracted to each other the last time we saw each other, or their energies were off, then it means we have to go back around again, and then it presents itself at a time which is the moment of alchemy, at the right time. And so you could have met somebody and thought, oh, that's too bad, because this person, I'm really attracted to them, but maybe it's a case of somebody who is like the right person, wrong time. I've been in those situations before as well. So I feel like what you know is that something is coming. Someone is arriving, or something is coming at you. And it's a knowing because of the Piscean energy here. The High Priestess is, of course, somebody who uses their life to help others, somebody who is very connected to the universe, and that's kind of is their job. It feels like that you could be someone who is, a card reader or a psychic or a medium, and maybe you're employed doing something else, but this is something that has always been at the center of your heart. Just having a knowing, right? People might come to you about advice. So I feel like you two are taking a break. That's what it feels like. There is a break being taken here between the King and the Queen of Wands, and we do have the Four of Wands here. Somebody wants to say something, but they know that they're feeling heartbroken about the situation, about the way it worked out here, and there are still some things we haven't resolved. The Seven of Swords is here. The things that we haven't resolved, or maybe you were trying to get away with something. And maybe there's things that are under the surface that are concealed that this person wasn't telling you. And maybe that's what it was, because you're the High Priestess, and you don't only look at a person, look at the outside and say, yeah, that's the one. You got to feel their energy. If they look great, but their energy is off, that's not for you. You're going to feel them out first. You're going to watch them and feel them out. I feel like somebody here you knew was not necessarily lying to you, Pisces, but maybe just keeping things under the surface. And there were things that you knew that they weren't ready to talk about, and you weren't comfortable with them not talking about those things. There it is. We have the Four of Wands. So somebody was looking for a deep soul connection, but it feels like they weren't willing to be vulnerable enough. They weren't willing to be vulnerable enough to have conversation about what their deepest wants were here. We do have the Cups, the Queen of Cups. So I do feel that there is a deep connection between you and the King of Cups. The King of Swords. King of Wands. So we do have the Queen here, right? And I feel like this is a soulmate connection for you. And we don't have to get together with every soulmate that arrives in our life. It could be a friend, but it feels like it is a soulmate connection. But it feels like this person does have deep feelings for you. They could be somebody who is like a family friend, or someone who you see as someone who's just always been there for you, someone who offers you stability, someone who is always kind of protective and kind and willing to help out. But it feels like there's been a distance, I want to say, that we haven't spoken to each other in a while, that either you or the King moved away from this connection. I feel like what the King was harboring, now I say the King because it's masculine leaning energy, but the King also has feminine energy, so don't get mixed up with the people on the cards, right? This could be a feminine or a masculine, same with the Queen, feminine or a masculine, so take it as it resonates for you. But it feels like the King was hiding what was under the surface. They were hiding that they really do want to look for someone that they can marry. It feels like this person was really looking for someone to call their own, but they weren't willing or weren't able. Maybe they weren't healed enough in the mind, but they weren't willing or not able to tell you that. That's what it feels like. It feels like there's like this person had to go on a journey. So you might have met this person maybe back in October possibly, and they seemed a bit stubborn to you, that they weren't willing to move. They didn't want a relationship. Like it just was, you felt a connection to them, but they just weren't willing to move. Well, I think there's movement here. That's what I think. The Six of Swords tells me that there's been movement in the mind. It feels like somebody has decided that they need to move towards something in order to be able to have it. And I think it's the King, because the King is the pursuer, right? Now, I think that you think this is over because the Ten of Swords is here and it was painful to you. The silence was painful. We stopped talking. We pulled away from each other. There's nothing to be said here. But I want to say that things aren't actually as they seem, that this was a pause and not an ending because somebody here had to get their crap together. Maybe this person wasn't a king the last time you saw them. Tell me about the Ace of Ace of Swords, because I feel like there is a conversation coming up here, that we're going to have movement between you and somebody else that you met some time ago. This person has been watching you, learning about you. This is the one who is the student. This person's been studying you, studying your movements, studying how you talk to people, studying, maybe how you communicate online with other people. Look at that. We do have the King and the Queen of Cups. This person feels very connected to you, and you feel very connected to them. Look, if you're thinking about them, it's because they're thinking about you, Pisces. They could be water, they could be fire. To me, water and fire is temperance, and we did see temperance here, right? We did see temperance. So I feel like you two balance each other out. We do have Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer energy. The Queen and the King of Cups have shown up here. I feel like there is going to be movement in the emotional area. So I feel like the King was maybe protecting themselves. Like they weren't ready. Maybe they were coming out of something. They were still healing. Something here. We do have the Queen of Swords. So it does feel like somebody here now is ready to speak about their deep feelings. And that's why the Six of Swords is here. Somebody is taking the communications and connections and they're moving along, and the things that they've learned. Why would you take all of those swords in the boat? They could poke a hole in the boat, right? They're very heavy. And I feel like it's communications and connections, things that this person learned while they were healing. I feel like now they're coming out and they're about to be very honest about the depth of how they feel, because I think they've had enough time, Pisces, to wait and watch you and, sort of track your movements and what you say. I feel like this person, because of the Ace of Swords here and the Ace of Swords here, was feeling kind of stuck. But we have 4, 5, 6, which is the movement that we see here, right? 6 swords, which is here. And the Queen of Swords is someone who is not going to be, aggressive. They're going to be assertive. And I just want to be really honest with you. And this person, I don't think they know how you're going to feel. I don't think they understand how deeply you also feel for them, that there is a connection here. And you've been thinking about them the whole time. I think that you think, or maybe they do, that it's over because it was a painful silence that you two fell into. But I don't think that's how it is. Tell me about the Ten of Swords, please. Yeah, somebody still wants the victory here. Somebody here wants to come back to town or wants to come to see you. Maybe they live a distance from you. But it feels like this person here has grown from the Six of Wands to the King. It feels like they've gone through a lot of things. They were dealing with a lot of traumas or burdens from the past, and I feel like they come from a hard place, and this is victory after the fight, right? Or after the war. So I feel like this person is looking for a mate. Now, this is the victory wreath, but I'm just going to say that he has a wreath on his head. And back in the day, in the medieval times, that the matriarch of the family, so the mother, would make 2 wreaths. And back in the day when they didn't have rings, right? When they weren't offering rings for marriage, the way that you knew somebody was betrothed is that the matriarch, the mother of the groom, would make these 2 wreaths, and they would the woman then would never leave the home without the wreath on the head, because then everybody would know that she was already spoken for. So it almost looks like somebody's coming back with a wreath. They've got the wreath on their head, and they're coming to place one on someone else's head here. Tell me more about this. And I think you think it's over because it fell into silence and you've already healed from this. That's what it feels like here. We have the Seven of Wands now who's stubborn. I think it's you keeping your boundaries, right? And stubborn to me isn't a bad word. It just means that you're in one place. You're not willing to move until you have all the information. And I feel like you have put up boundaries since the ending of this, or the presumed ending, the one that you think is ended. I feel like you've learned a lesson here. And now when this person comes at you, I feel like you've got a bunch of boundaries up. But I don't think you're expecting them because the moon energy is here. Look at that. So there is somebody coming back here that you haven't talked to possibly since last October. It could be things fell in half in October. Doesn't matter if it's 2020, 2018. It doesn't matter what year it's in, but it could be something fell apart in October. And now the King of Wands, who has grown up, who has learned a few things, who has healed, somebody who is looking for marriage, possibly someone who lives at a distance from you looking for marriage. This person might be a little bit eccentric. I do see the Queen of Wands as being eccentric here. So somebody here could be eccentric. They run and fire. We get what we want. They're very attracted to each other. These two people have a lot of chemistry, and I feel like this is coming here and you knew it. I feel like you knew it. Pisces, I feel like you knew this person was going to arrive here. The moment of alchemy is like you're ready to tip over into the moment of alchemy, and I think you know this person is coming already. I think you know it. Yeah, you've made a decision. You know that they are right there. It feels like somebody's coming back round, right? And you're going to have to make a really big decision based on your high intuition, your psychic intuition, as to whether to give this person reciprocity or not. I think that you will, because you do want balance. So I think you'll let them in and you'll speak with them. But I think you're going to do it in a Queen of Swords way. So I think you're going to do it in a way of, you know what, come on in, I'll talk with you, but I'm going to be very honest with you. I think the king is going to be honest with you anyway. But we do have... what do we have? We have 3 queens, right? We do have the Queen of Wands, we have the Queen of Cups, and we have the Queen of Swords. So the only one that's missing is the Queen of Pentacles, settling down, right? Finding someone to settle down with. I think first we have to have a communication or conversation here. I feel like you are going to give this person your time. I think you're going to talk with them, but I think you are doing nothing but asking them the truth. You are demanding the truth here. Before you go any further here, and look who we found just now, the King of Swords. So all we're missing is the Queen and the King of Pentacles to end up with an Emperor and the Empress, because the Emperor is all 4 kings, the Empress is all 4 queens, and I think we have 2 people who had to part in October in order to be able to grow. And I think that you thought it was an ending, but the universe is telling you no, it's something that you didn't realize was coming back together again. The Judgment card is here. I'm going to go for now, Pisces. That was an exciting reading for you. I'm going to go for now. Thank you for being here and watching. I do appreciate you. I'm going to go for now, but I'll be back, y'all. I'm always back. Love ya. Bye.